Gemara says in Yevamos that there's a distinction between Avelus Chadasha and Avelus Shoshana. Avelus Chadasha refers to, God forbid, a person who sustains a loss in the family and is obligated to sit Shiva, followed by Shloshim, followed by Yuz Beis Chodesh, in the case of Rachmana litzlan, the loss of a father or a mother. Avelus Shoshana is historical Avelus, relating to the Churban HaMikdash. More specifically, Chazal found a reference to this in the Pasuk in Eicha, where the Navi says, Kol Rotfera Hisigua Ben HaMitzorim. Ben HaMitzorim translates between the Straits. Kol Atzoro Sikifua Ben HaMitzorim. And this refers to the 3-week period between Shavas Tammuz and Tisha B'Av. The Yerushalmi writes that if Tzom Harvi is observed on the 9th of Tammuz, Tzom HaChamishi must be observed on Rosh Chodesh Av. The Yerushalmi has created a link or a bonding between Tisha B'Av and Shavas Tammuz based on the pasuk in Yirmiyahu where the Navi says, Makel Shoked Ani Roeh. Chazal tell us that the almond tree takes a period of 3 weeks to blossom. What's the nature of this distinction between Avelus Chadasha and Avelus Shoshana? So in Avelus Chadasha, the Avel was confronted by pain, by despair, the loss of a close relative. Death is a kind of hester panim. In Avelus Shoshana, no matter how imaginative the person is, the pain is not nearly as severe. The grief is not so sharp. The grief is not so biting. However alive the experience of the Churban is, it's primarily emotion that's aroused by the intellect. It's a measured kind of pain. And therefore, any Hesed Hadas would easily divert my attention from Avelus. And of course, that's not the case. Chas v'sholom and Avelus Chadasha, there is no Hesed Hadas. The pain is sharp, the pain is severe, one cannot concentrate, and therefore Chazal, when they formulated the halachas of Avelus Yeshana, did so almost antithetically to that of Avelus Chadasha. Avelus Chadasha begins with the most severe, the most intense form of Avelus, the Yom HaMisa, followed by Shiva, followed by Shloshim, followed by Yud Chodesh. In the case of Avelus Shoshana, it's the very opposite. There Chazal had introduced restrictions to prevent Hesed Hadas because it's quite easy to divert my attention from historical Avelus. And therefore, Chazal handled the Yisurim in a different kind of way. Namely, we begin with a kind of Avelus that perhaps parallels Yud Beis Chodesh. We continue to Shavua Shechalbo, which has in its elements for Shloshim, and finally Tisha B'Av, which is either Shiva or perhaps Yom HaMisa. So Avelus Shoshana is a fermenting process, a slow and gradual intensifying process. The halacha cannot impose upon us immediately all the dinim of Avelus. This is the fundamental distinction that the Gemara draws between Avelus Shoshana and Avelus Chadasha. But undoubtedly, Avelus Shoshana is much more difficult to create the shtimmim, to create the kind of atmosphere that one has to be in order to appreciate the loss of the Beis HaMikdash. You know, Rabbi Avishai Zakai made many takanas zecher HaMikdash. Meheira yibanei HaMikdash. Halavai, the Mikdash should be built speedily in our days. Rav Soloveitchik used to comment on the Gemara Ba'abasra, the Gemara at the end of Ches Sabatim. The Gemara records a number of minhagim of zecher HaMikdash, namely Efer, Berosh Chasan, at a chuppah. The Gemara refers to Ama Alama, that a person leaves part of his home unpainted, and the like. The Gemara quotes a pasuk for these minhagim. In Meshkachech Yerushalayim Tishkach Yimini. And yet, with reference to other takanas of Echem Zakai that was zecher HaMikdash, the Gemara quotes a pasuk in Yirmiyahu Perek Lamed. Ki ela arucha lach umimakosech erporech num Hashem ki nidocha korolach tzion higdor Hashem lo mechlal l'boy risha. So Rav Soloveitchik said, why isn't the Gemara there? Quote the pasuk of Mishkachech Yerushalayim. The maskana he came to is ineluctable. There are tvei dinim. There's a dialectic regarding zecher HaMikdash. There's zecher HaMikdash b'tifarto. I remember the Mikdash in its glory and splendor. That's the reason why we take the lulav today outside the Mikdash for 7 days. In the Mikdash it was only 7 days, but outside the Mikdash it was 1 day, but today we take a Zeichel Mikdash for a period of 7 days. The second type of Zeichel Mikdash is Zeichel Mikdash B'churbana, to be moaned, to bewail, to be misabel on Churban Yerushalayim. So in Avelus Chadasha, the Avelus is naturally built into a person's psyche. Avelus Shoshana is much more difficult. We have to try our best to recognize the beauty that existed in Zman HaMikdash, and at the same time realize the tragedy that occurred with the loss of the Mikdash. And that's embedded in the pasuk that the Navi says in Eicha, Zachva Yerushalayim Yimei Anya Mudeh, the days of Anya, the days where tragedy hit us, but at the same time, Kol Machmudeh Shehoy Lam Bekedem, the beauty of the Beis HaMikdash. Halavai, that all of us should cultivate, should nurture for Avelus Shoshana by studying what happened, Bizman HaMikdash, the beauty of it, and at the same time recognizing the loss of the Mikdash, and thereby we'll be able to fulfill Avelus Shoshana in the fullest way. Kol HaMisabel Yerushalayim, Zeichel B'roya B'simchasa, Halavai to the Avelus, will also be Zeichel to see the Simcha B'Yerushalayim, Yetz Hashem B'Karav.